Well, hello and welcome to your weekly look at Tiffin University football. Hi everybody, I'm Snyder, voice of the Dragons. To my left, the head coach of the undefeated Tiffin University Dragons after a big road win down at Thomas More. Coach, welcome back home and a great win on Saturday. Huh?
Yeah, it was awesome. No, good to be back and good to be ready to move on to this weekend against Hillsdale.
Well, we talked a little bit before the show, and people who watch the show on a regular basis know that your wife is helping get some things organized for friends and family that are coming down. Did you get a chance to see some of the folks that maybe you haven't seen in a long time?
No, it was great. Yeah, we had about 50 family members, and I think a bunch of our guys are from Cincinnati, so we had a ton of fans. We traveled really well. I looked up at one point and we had scored, and it felt louder when we did good things than when they did.
And, love that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see Dragon Nation come out in a big way, and but yeah, neat to see some of my family I hadn't seen in a while get to share those experiences, and we had about 50 family members, so it was cool.
So you got to have a good wife at home to take care of that stuff for you, so you can concentrate on the football game.
I have the best.
I'll have to argue. I got that, bud.
We're both very lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Leave it at that. Right? Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the game at Thomas More, and at the end of the first quarter, Coach, your Dragons were down 9-3. Thomas More got it started with a touchdown run. They had their first scoring drive was a really nicely put together drive, and we didn't see the quarterback I was expecting to see. We saw two other quarterbacks in the game, and did you have to change a little bit about what you're doing? Did you prepare for the other man?
We had prepared for some different types of situations, and it didn't end up playing the way that we thought it would coming out of the gate. And I thought our defensive staff made some good adjustments and put us back into a situation to be able to play good defense. And to their credit, I thought they came out with good energy and on both sides of the ball. I mean, really. Offensively, we went 3 and out, and defensively, they were able to. Our defense was able to kind of make it hard on them, but still they went down and scored and started the game off 7-zip. So we got to start faster without a shadow of a doubt, and it's been evident over the course of the last few weeks, and that's really, really important for us to fix this week.
Well, the Dragons did answer the touchdown for Thomas More 7-0. Grant Woodfin, a 20-yard field goal and a 12-play, 69-yard drive, taking 4:14 off the clock, and your Dragons respond to get it to 7-3.
Yeah, no, we didn't flinch, and it's kind of been the theme of our season where we've had to respond to some early adversity and kind of battle back and find a way. And I think offensively we were able to settle in after those first 2 drives and kind of figure some things out and play some better football as the day went on.
Thomas Moore's punter is a weapon.
Yeah.
The young man, he is really good. Actually, Matt Martin had more yards per kick on the game on Saturday for the Dragons, but the punter for Thomas More is a very good kid. He put you guys down at the 3-yard line, and credit them, they brought the house.
They did.
Came all after you and got Case Martin in the end zone for a safety to finish the scoring at the end of the first quarter. Dragons down 9-3.
Yeah, really a silly situation, and got to put that one on myself. Not a great play call, backed up, and could have put us in a better light and didn't. And so, again, more adversity. That one, I think, more self-created than anything, and put us in a 9-3 situation. I think we were able to make some adjustments and figure some things out and come back and figure out the rest from there. But that was an early kind of hiccup that we didn't need to have.
Well, just like the players learn from every play, coaches need to learn from every play too.
Always Kaizen, right? Continually improve.
Absolutely.
So it's an opportunity to figure that stuff out, make sure we don't put our guys in a negative situation.
Well, you did figure some stuff out because you scored the next 44 straight points on your way to a victory. Got started in the second quarter. Case Martin looking a little bit like Mike Vick out there this weekend. He had a great game with his legs, did all kinds of good things for you, but got the Dragons on the scoreboard the second quarter with a 25-yard touchdown pass to Josh Lewis, a 6-play, 80-yard drive, taking 2:08 off the clock, and the big play in that drive was a 19-yard run by Kaysen.
Yeah, no, he's a good athlete. He hasn't shown up all that much, but he's a really good athlete. No, he hadn't had to, and credit to our guys up front. But yeah, it's a weapon that he has that he's able to employ when he has to.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's a pickleball legend in the Tiffin area, right? So all the folks know about his athleticism there, and a lot of unique things he brings. So I think you'll see that come out more and more as he's getting a little bit more comfortable with just kind of figuring things out.
And that's also gives the other team something else to look at on film that they got to prepare for as well.
Always.
Well, the defense sets you up next.
Yeah.
As the Thomas More team goes for a 4th down, the Dragons get a stop inside the Thomas More 30-yard line. Doesn't take the Dragons long to go 29 yards. Case Martin finds Tyreek Banks Dorn a 2-yard touchdown. 4 plays, 29 yards, only a $127 off the clock, and now you have a 17-9 advantage.
Yeah, no, that was a fake punt that they went for, and we were in a good spot to be able to sniff it out.
Yeah.
Trent Hacker, actually one of our wideouts, has been a special teams ace and sniffed it out, made a really big play, and stopped the tide there, and then we went down and scored. So really, at that 9-3 mark, you see 2 really big special teams plays pop up, which I know you're going to get into the next one. And
down right here.
Yeah, and that really, I thought, changed the flow of the game in a big way, and we needed them both.
Well, you got to win all 3 facets of the football game if you can. And boy, just even if the special teams don't score, them setting you up on a short field is just it's been measurable, really.
No, it's huge. We want to be +2 in big plays on special teams, and we were, and luckily our 2 were a big 2, and led to. If you look at those 2, we had we blocked a punt, right? Adrian Bowers Bear blocked the punt the very next drive, and you look at the fake punt that we sniffed out, right? You're talking about a 14-point swing.
Absolutely.
In those 2 plays, which is absolutely huge.
Right after you had taken a bit of an advantage as well.
Exactly.
So, they're still feeling good about themselves. All of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Now they're down, instead of 8, they're down, 22. So you mentioned, first, the 4th down play, as Coach said, punter took a couple steps forward and just threw a little pass over the middle, and basically was caught and dropped right on the spot. So it was a great job by the Dragon defense. And then Adrian Bowers blocks a punt, and Will Lakeharp falls on it and takes it at the 1-yard line. Dragons take it in. Casey Martin, again, we've been saying his name a lot already, a 1-yard touchdown run on a 1-play drive, and the Dragons up 23-9. You take that score to the half.
Yeah, took it in the half, and it wasn't our best first half of football, to be entirely honest. And I think we had to kind of regroup and play a cleaner second half and play a more physical second half. And we certainly did that coming out. And I don't know what the final score was, but we ended up controlling. Yeah, we did, and controlled the second half in a big way. And that was big for us. Was
that your message at halftime? Clean up the mistakes. Be the physical team. Just go out and win this game.
Yeah, I think it was more about just worrying about us. There's a lot of external factors in football, whether it's officials or whether it's what's happening on the other side or what's happening in the stands or what's happening around you.
Right.
So many things you can't control, and at times we get swept up in the things that are irrelevant to what we can control.
Right.
So just being able to lock in and worry about Tiffin, and I say all the time, Tiffin doesn't beat Tiffin, and we got to make sure that we really focus on that and just lock in and compete, win the moment on what we need to do on any given play. And when we do that, we're at our best, and I thought we did that in the second half.
Well, the Dragon third quarter first scoring drive was set up by the young man who is now the GMAC leader in yards per game on the ground. Ronald Blackman, a big 44-yard run, sets up a Casey Martin to James Dean, 19-yard touchdown pass, and the Dragons extend their lead to 30-9.
Yeah, no, good way to start the second half. It was pretty bang, 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 and I thought we were able to come on and execute right off the jump, and it was a 99-yard drive. It was got the ball on the 1-yard line.
I wrote down the drive summary on every one except for that one.
Yeah, no, it was a 99-yard drive. Got the ball on the 1. Tremendous play by their punter, and came out and completed a ball on second and change, and got our first down. And then from that point, it was rolling. That third play, Ron ripped off a big run, and James capped it off at the end. So it was a heck of a way to start the second half after we had talked about kind of the messaging and just what we needed to focus on. I thought we played a really clean drive to start it, and then it kind of snowballed from there.
Well, Ronald Blackman also had another big run on the next scoring drive by the Dragons, this time from 37 yards out, sets up Carson Greasock. We'll say his name in a little bit with a big play as well. But Carson, good to see him getting back in the mix. A 4-yard touchdown run, a 9-play, 80-yard drive, taking 4:44 off the clock, and the Dragons really start to flex their muscle up 37-9.
Yeah, no, it's good. I thought our O-line really asserted themselves early in the second half, and Carson's touchdown run was kind of cool in the sense of, it was he got banged from the side and kind of kept his feet running, and then at one point you have all 11 guys on offense pushing them into the end zone, and so we talk a lot about effort and finish and just playing a physical brand of football, and I think anytime you get 11 guys that are straining and finishing and pushing their teammate into the end zone says a lot about the want and the willpower that they do have. And so I think it was cool and a way for us to further I think invest in the effort side of the game, and anytime you find good clips like that, it's a way to show like, hey, we did it and it worked, right? So let's continue to play that way.
That's the only time you ever want 5 280+ pound guys pushing you all at one time,
right?
So go to the third quarter, Dragons up 37-9. Fourth quarter, again, it's a 1-yard run by Kason Martin. Love this play, this drive. 16 plays, 80 yards, almost half the fourth quarter coming off the clock, 7:02. Set up by a big 3rd down and 12 catch by Jack Stoltz, a guy who's going to see him getting back in the mix too.
Yep, without a doubt. No, we've been able to do that, a couple times this year where we have a lead, and just in order to be able to ice it, slow things down and execute and play a physical brand, and I thought this was another week of us being able to do that. And,
absolutely.
Solidify things, and I think just kind of put the nail in the coffin.
Well, the final score for the Dragons was a Grant Woodfin 19-yard field goal, an 8-play, 73-yard drive, 4:17 off the clock, and 62 yards of that came on the very first play of the drive, and Carson Grisak broke one off the left side and went down the sideline. And good to see that young man as rumbling, tumbling, stumbling down the sideline.
Right, no doubt. No, it was. It's he's one of our backs, and you've seen 5 play this season, and all played really well. And this was Carson's first opportunity really to break a long run, and he did it. And so it was cool to see that. And and so I'm excited for him to continue to get better.
Dragons had a 27-12 first down advantage, 375 to 32 in rushing yards a game. Your defense held them to 3rd downs on 5 of 17. Ramon Jackson, DJ Harris, Jesse Cannell led you in tackles as well. Talk a little bit about the defensive efforts on Saturday.
Yeah, they played great. I thought, outside that first drive, really we played a really sound football game on the defense side of the ball, and we put them in some bad situations offensively, and they kind of kept raising up to the challenge, and so it was cool to see. I thought, like you said, Raymond played really well, Jesse Cannell played really well, Marshawn Mankins played really well. Bunch of guys stepped up in a good way. Radical Rothermel played really well, and proud of the way our guys played up front. We had challenged the big kids up front to really be more dominant, and ended up, I think we were like a 27% pressure clip on the quarterback, and had hit the quarterback much of the day.
What's the number you look for in that?
Really, we want to be around 20%. Okay. So anything over 20% is huge, and so being able to be at that number after we had challenged them on it, it was key.
So what was the call on the DJ Harris penalty when he came off the side and jumped on the pump fake, and he came down? Looked like he came down on his arm.
Yeah, they said that it was potentially a blow to the head, and I didn't like it. I'd be here for days if we were going to talk about all that. But
I just had to bring it up when I saw DJ's name.
I'm glad you did, but I'm going to stay away from that one.
Oh, good. Well, this weekend the Dragons welcoming in Hillsdale, who got their first win last week. Looked good against Northwood, a big 40-18 win, and their record may be a little deceiving because they played at in Indianapolis, they played Michigan Tech, Ashland, and Finley. That's a tough way to go in your first 5 games.
It is. No, they've kind of run through murderer's row, and they're a good football team. I always have a lot of respect for the way they do things there, and this year's no different. They're really good up front on both sides of the ball. They're big. They put a lot of pressure on you in terms of their ability to run the football. They got one of the best, I think, running backs in the Midwest, and in the Herzog kid, and
one of those guys feels like he's been here for 6, 7, 8 years.
Feels like he's been here forever, right? But he really is. He's a dynamic kid, and on the defense side of the ball, they're playing at a high level up front. Got a really key defensive end that I'm very impressed with, and have some solid pieces. So, like every weekend conference is a challenge, but this is a big challenge for us, and one that we got to make sure that we're ready to rise to the occasion on.
Well, when you look at the GMAC leaders, you got the top 3 running backs in the GMAC, all on these 2 rosters between Blackman and Nelson and Mr. Herzog. Grant Woodfin leading the GMAC in scoring right now.
Really?
He absolutely is. Yes, sir. And then you mentioned Herzog. He's leading the GMAC in all-purpose yards, and they really want to get him the football. They throw the ball on average about 27 times, run it about 23 times a game. So that Herzog is a big feature of that offense.
Yeah, no, he's also their main returner on punts and kicks, and as he should be. He's a dynamic kid, so if I were them, I'd try and get him the ball as much as humanly possible.
Absolutely.
So doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Give it to the guy that can make plays, and so we got to make sure we know where he's at every play, and whether it's special teams or defense, or making sure that we're keyed in on him and do everything we can to get vertical and up front and stop the run, and their quarterbacks have played well as of late, and so making sure that we're minding our P's and Q's there too.
It's a noon start this Saturday, and there's going to be a lot going on. I know the cheerleaders have cheerlittles with them. The band is bringing in high school band members from around the area, and I'm sure you'll have recruits in. Just about every football game, there's recruits come to watch you play. It should be a great atmosphere. It's not going to be 85. I bet you're looking forward to some actual football weather.
Not football weather.
Super hot stuff.
It'll be 50s and a little windy, and it'll feel like a fall day. So, Dragon Walk at 9:30, and the the little cheerleading thing. My daughter Lennox is going to be in that.
Awesome.
So
my daughter will be with the marching band.
There you
so
go, right?
Both getting represented.
There you go. So it's cool. So the kids get to be involved, and Len gets to cheer on the same field that Dad coaches on. So she's excited for that.
That's awesome.
Cassie Baum does a great job, setting that stuff up. So yeah, it should be a great day for Tiffin, and hopefully we'll play well.
Last week we told you about a new segment that's coming to.
I forgot about that.
To Coach Cris Reisert show, the questions for a coach. So we ask you to submit questions to me at wtud@tiffin.edu. We'll pick 4 questions each week out of what are submitted and ask the coach, and we'll get his responses, whether he wants to give it or not. Depends on what the question is. So I went through and I picked out a few. So you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, we have one from Tiffin. So let's start from Tiffin. And this is a female. Her name is Cassie as well.
Oh, okay.
So she just wants to know, what is your favorite thing about football game day? And I'm going to double that up a little bit and say, so you're a coach right now. Talk a little bit about your favorite thing as a coach. Then reminisce a little bit and tell us what your favorite thing was as a player.
So my favorite thing about football game day, I would say, is that 3 minutes when you come out on the field, right, and you have about 3 minutes until the ball is kicked, and it's just like a calm before the storm, and you feel alive.
Yeah,
and so the pre-game is so far away, and you kind of dread it, but 3 minutes before kick, your juices are flowing. It's cool to see your players really kind of fired up for the moment and focused, and everything is about to take form, and it's just a cool time on a football field.
It's right where preparation is transitioning into an opportunity, right?
Yeah, and then as a player, really just probably there's nothing better than being able to throw a game-winning touchdown.
Oh, I bet.
And
it's like hitting a game-winning home run, right?
Yeah, on the road. For me, it was always wins on the road. Playing at home was cool, but anytime you could go on the road and ice a game and play lights out, that was just the way to do it.
So it was probably a real fun bus ride home.
Yeah, I would have probably rather played 11 road games as a player. I love going on the road, and things were against you, and you just found a way to win.
I do like that too. What else can you do but bunch together with your guys? You can't do anything else.
About your boys and going to do what you do.
All right, this one comes to us from Josh in Columbus. All right, give us a couple things fans will notice about your Tiffin University football team's style of play when they watch you play.
I think we play with great passion. That's a goal of ours. We want to be the most excited team to play every week. I like to think that we do that. I think our energy and our enthusiasm for football shines through. That's something we really believe in and we really care about and we work at. I think I'm a big believer that game day should be a party. You have 365 days a year, and you get 11 of them to play a football game, at least that you're guaranteed on, and the other 354 you're working, right?
Yep.
So, let's make the most of those 11 days. And back when I played, it was always very tight and tense, and nobody talked, and you had your helmet on, and you looked straight ahead, and how dare you say anything to anybody, and because you need to be focused. And I think that for us, I want our guys to be excited. I don't want them to be afraid to lose. I want them to play to win and attack. And so we try and really set our whole day up that way, where there's an energy to the day, there's loud music, there's enthusiasm, there's passion, and I want our guys to play that same way. So I would say that. And then the second thing I would say is I think we play really well together. I think if you were to watch our sidelines, and if you were to watch our guys interact with one another, you could tell that the relationships are real, that they're genuine.
I agree with that.
And I think that's a sign of a good football team, and you can tell when they're faked, and that's usually not a very good football team. And so I like to think that our guys are really close-knit.
I think so too. I can see that from my interactions with them, either at the games, practice field, or on campus. Yeah, they all get along. It is the family atmosphere. All right, this one also coming to us from Columbus. This is Brad in Columbus. Wants to know, how has Kason Martin been a difference maker for you this season?
Yeah, no, Casey's been huge. He really has. I think certainly on the field, right, has been instrumental in our success and solidifying the quarterback spot. But off the field, he's been invaluable. He's a guy that came to us in the spring. A little bit of a different life situation. He's a little older. He's married, has a wife, Barb, and they're both tremendous people. And so Dad was a longtime high school football coach, still is in Texas, and so
that makes sense.
Comes from kind of that stock, and Mom's a teacher, and so he's a guy that just has a sense of how to lead, and a sense of how to build relationships in a short amount of time. So he led the entire summer. He and a couple of the other older guys in terms of throwing and catching and running 7-on-7s, and then being able to be here. We talk a lot about just that no flinch mentality, and I think he and a bunch of our older guys are really the embodiment of that, where it's not always perfect, and he'll be the first to tell you, and I'll be the second to tell you. But it's not always perfect.
You might be the first.
But you know what? We figure out a way, to stay together and to stay tight, and might not always be the way we wanted it to be, but we're going to find a way to persevere, and he's a huge reason why that's the case.
Well, when you're the quarterback, if everybody can buy into you, that sort of makes everything just that much better.
Without a shadow.
You know that as a quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, our final question on the questions for a coach. Don't forget you can submit your questions to me at WTUD@tiffin.edu. This is from Michael in Findlay. He wants to know, what's your biggest positive surprise that you've seen on offense and on defense this year?
It's a good question. Surprise on offense. I don't know that I'd say I have one. I've been very, very pleased with our running backs and the depth at which we've been able to display at that position. But I can't say it's a surprise. I kind of knew that.
Right.
Probably a surprise for everyone else. They got to see Devin and got to see Ron and got to see Tyrese and Carson, and we kind of see that all the time.
Right.
I knew that they were there, how good they were and are, but we've gotten to be able to put that on display, I think, a little bit more. Defensively, I think I don't know that there's a surprise. I think that I'm very encouraged by the way that our guys have played. I think on defense, more than any other position on our team, we had a ton of new guys.
Yeah, especially up front. Yeah.
Up front, you're talking 4 brand new starters, right? And all 4 guys have played really well, but really we play about 8 over those 2 spots. And you're talking about Robert Holtz, who's one of the sack leaders in the country, and Jesse Connell, and a couple new faces, and Gio and Bad Rat and Zach McMahon and Antonio O'Berry and Mo Cook, and just guys that have kind of junkyard dog mentality and playing their tails off. And Coach Price has done a great job establishing the culture. So surprises, I don't know. I think for me, much more maybe a seeing it come to fruition, where I saw it all camp and all off season and just wanted it to come to fruition and really cement itself, and it has. So, and I think the cool thing is there's other guys within our organization that I think are starting to get better and better and better. My hope is that as the year kicks on, there's new names that we're talking about and different names that we're talking about in a good way. And I think that we're continuing to do that. The one thing that we stress every week is just the ability to prepare the right way and practice, and by no means is anyone's job won. And so every week you got to earn it.
Right.
And you'll see different names out there every week because guys get beat out or guys practice really well and they earn more opportunities. They get into a game and those opportunities, lead to more. And so I think that's a cool part about our program.
When I was looking at the questions, I tried to answer them if I was you. I'd look at them, and my biggest surprise I would say is the inexperience doesn't look like inexperience.
Yeah.
That's the inexperienced guys look like they've been there, done that, and you got to love that. That's really goes back to coaching and the belief in the experienced guys and letting them know that if you make a mistake, I'm here. Like we said before, not only to pick you up, but reach down and pick you up as well if you need to. So I like that.
That's good.
Again,
that's a better answer than mine. You should.
We'll switch spots on Saturday. No. Okay, so this Saturday game's at 12 noon, as we said. The Dragon Walk 9:30.
Yep.
So if you can get down there around 9 o'clock, get yourself set up before the bus pulls up, get yourself a good view of all the kids walking in, and then the game at 4 o'clock here on the Great Midwest at noon. I'm sorry, I'm thinking ahead. Game's at noon on the Great Midwest Digital Network, on radio at tudragonradio.com, and on the TU Dragon Football Radio Network out of our friends at Coast Country 100.9 on your FM dial out of Sandusky. All right, Coach, any last words for this game on Saturday for the fans?
No, it's packed Frost County. I'll get everybody there.
Absolutely. We had a packed volleyball house on Pink Night the other night. All y'all, we'll see you at Frost County this coming Saturday. He's Coach Cris Reisert. I'm Russ Snyder. We'll catch you next week right here on the Coach Cris Reisert Show.